affecting not simply what I was writing about, but what I was thinking and feeling. As memory, it was an experience of not being white, of being made into a stranger, the one who is recognized as out of place, the one who does not belong, whose proximity is registered as crime or threat. As memory, it was of becoming a stranger in a place I called home. Why had I forgotten about it? Forgetting has its uses. Unpleasant experiences are often the ones that are hard to recall. I had not wanted to think about race. I had not wanted to think about my experiences growing up as someone who did not belong. Allowing myself to remember was a political reorientation. It led me to think and write about the politics of stranger making, how some and not others become strangers, how emotions of fear and hatred stick to certain bodies, how some bodies become understood as the rightful occupants of certain spaces. Throughout the course of my writing, I have tried to write from this experience of not belonging, to make sense of that experience, even when it is not the explicit subject of recall. One of my aims in this book is to show that to account for racism is to offer a different account of the world. I thus do not begin with the category of race, but with more apparently open terms. The racialization of the stranger is not immediately apparent, disguised, we might say, by the strict anonymity of the stranger, who, after all, we are told from childhood, could be anyone. My own stranger memory taught me that the could be anyone points to some bodies more than others. This could be anyone only appears as an open possibility, stretching out into the horizon, in which the stranger reappears as the one who was always lurking in the shadows. Frantz Fanon taught us to watch out for what lurks, seeing himself in and as the shadow, the dark body who is always passing by at the edges of social experience. In seeing the stranger, we are most certainly seeing someone. In some cases, we are seeing ourselves. We can think from the experience of becoming a stranger. A stranger experience can be an experience of becoming noticeable, of not passing through or passing by, of being stopped or being held up. A stranger experience can teach us about how bodies come to feel at home through the work of inhabitants, how bodies can extend themselves into spaces, creating contours of inhabitable space, as well as how spaces can be extensions of bodies. This book explores the intimacy of bodily and social space. It develops my earlier arguments about stranger making by thinking more concretely about institutional spaces, about how some more than others will be at home in institutions that assume certain bodies as their norm. There is another story of arrival. I became co-director of the Institute for Women's Studies at Lancaster University in 2000. I began to attend faculty meetings. I was the only person of color at these meetings. It is important to note that I noticed this. Whiteness tends to be visible to those who do not inhabit it, though not always and not only. During the discussion of one item at a faculty meeting on equality, the dean said something like, "Race is too difficult to deal with." I remember wanting to challenge this, but the difficulty of speaking about racism as a person of color meant that I did not speak up during but after the meeting, and even then, I wrote rather than spoke. Saying that race is too difficult is how racism gets reproduced, I put in an email to the dean. The belief that racism is inevitable.